Just to say, these stories that I'm reading on Reddit can actually be quite hard to understand, as there is quite a few mistakes in them, so I do apologise if they do come out quite bad. Now, these Reddit stories are meant to be true. Whether you believe them or not is entirely up to you. Thank you very much for choosing my video to chill to. Relax, my friends, settle down and enjoy. Some things in the woods and we don't know what to do about it. So let me explain the title. I live in a small town surrounded by thick woods, and there's a few other towns nearby. When my mother and I had first moved here, I had decided to go explore the woods. As I was walking, I found a bunch of huts made of sticks. Then I walked to a river and heard heavy breathing behind me. But when I turned round, nothing was there. I decided it was best to get out of there as quickly as possible. A few weeks ago, I went back to the same area of woods, and I saw a shadow of someone behind me and heard footsteps. Not sure if it was an actual person, but I ran out of there not wanting to find out. Recently, my girlfriend had a dream that she was in their kitchen and looked out the window. There was a creature who looked like it was rotting. Its joints were all backwards and it looked humanoid and part goat according to her. I looked at her and made a strange scream. She then woke up. The next day she had a conversation with her little sister. When she heard a voice outside, she paused in the middle of her sentence and freaked out. When she heard a scream similar to the one in her dream. I've been hearing knocking at my window and I'm not happy about it. I set up bowls of salt in my room, cleansed with bells and rose petals and more. I'm just terrified of whatever it is getting in. Can I get in your car? I live in a small town, call it Middlevale. It's a little bit of a dump, but it's small, quiet and tucked away in the mountains. Most people live in Middlevale because it's affordable, and then they commute into the big city nearby where all the jobs actually are. The main highway exit that leads to the city is a couple of miles to the north of Middlevale on a road that leads north to the next largest town, Westchester. Right there on the road to Westchester, next to those highway exits, is the local Walmart. Early one morning I was commuting to work and stopped by that Walmart before getting on the highway. I was going to get a box of donuts to share with the office later that morning. The parking lot for Walmart is never more than 20% full at any one time. Middlevale is a small town and Westchester has its own Walmart. That morning there were only 2 pickups trucks parked in a lot. As I pulled up in my little car, I tend to park far away from whatever building I'm going into. I don't know why I do this. I guess I just like to walk. So I pulled into a space about 50 yards away from Walmart entrance, even though there were practically no other vehicles around me at all. As I was pulling into the parking space, I saw a little person standing against the front wall of the building. It was still early and the sun had not come up yet. The person was half a football field away, so I could not make them out very well. I remember seeing the small person standing over by the building. I remember looking down just long enough to make sure my car was in park. Then I remember looking up and that person was no longer against the front of the building. She was standing just outside my passenger window. It was a young woman. She was short and had short brown hair. She was standing right outside my window and kind of looking down at me. She said something to me through the glass. I am pretty sure it was, "Can I get in your car?" My instinct was to get out of my car and get into the building where there would be other people. I did not know what this person wanted, but I knew it wasn't anything good.
"Can I help you, ma'am?"
I asked. I asked this as I purposefully strode towards the building. "I need a ride to Westchester. Can I get in your car?"
"Ma'am, I'm not heading that way."
"Well, I need a ride to Middlevale. Can I get in your car?" By then I was at the entrance. This person had kind of followed me and was now halfway between the Walmart entrance and my car.
"I'm not heading that way either, ma'am."
I just said and walked in through the doors. Now, I do possess some situational awareness. If this person was frightened, like they were just trying to get away from a stalker, I would have sensed that. I'd probably asked the store manager to call the police. I did not pick up any of these vibes from this person. Also, she didn't really come across as a druggie or a prostitute. She just really wanted my permission to get inside my car. I got my donuts, paid for them and walked out. When I stepped back outside, the parking lot was completely empty, except for my car and the two trucks. The sun had by then come up over the hills to the east. First foreign paranormal experience. First things first, I have been known to have many experiences with the paranormal. My entire family has actually, although with each generation it's said to get stronger and stronger. This was confirmed through my father, who's seen and essentially helped me and my sisters through it all. Anyhow, I'm deviating. So back in 2016, I was a young sailor in the Navy, stationed in Yokosuka, Japan. I had just recently made E4 and decided to move in with one of my best friends. We had a beautiful 2LDK, 2-bedroom, living room, dining room, kitchen apartment in a town called Uraga, Yokosuka, Japan. Aside from the awesome view of Chiba Bay and the marina directly near our place, there was also this really effing creepy shrine right across the street. I do remember not hearing or seeing much wildlife around the shrine, and it would give off a really creepy feeling. There was a night I recall coming back pretty plastered, and I got a little too close to the shrine. Every instinct in my body was going off like fire alarms, and I could hear my great-grandfather, who passed the year prior, scream, "Get away!" I do try to find logic in this, but there was none. Even during my experiences, I tried to find the most logical reason possible, but for this I had none. Days went by, and I was home alone as my roommate was on a trip. It was a normal day like any other. I went to get cat food and booze. Weird combo. Picked up my uniforms and get some curry. Still weird combo. Yes, an easy, productive day. This was until sunset. Around that time, I just finished making my second drink while watching TV. Suddenly, every hair on my body stood up, and I instinctively went into flight mode. Out of the corner of my eye, I seen something moving. I turned to see my cat staring at the hallway, going towards the entrance. Just when I see a girl in a spotted white dress walking towards my door. She looked to be in her 20s. I chased her down, knife in hand, salt in the other. As soon as I got to the door, she was gone. That night I salted my house. She hadn't come back. Weeks go by, and I still haven't seen or felt any activity. This is until I invited one of my close friends over to play some games. As soon as he got there, I buzzed him in, and he then calls me.
Yo, who's that girl at the door? What girl? Some Japanese chick. She's sitting there like she's waiting. Eh? Wait, what's she wearing? A white dress with spots. Do not come any closer. Go round back now. But go round to the F back.
Afterwards, I explained everything to him, and he stayed over that night. I have had people say that they've seen her outside my door until I moved, and yet my experiences in my next house was worse. Well, what do you make of these stories? Do you think they were real? Do you think they were fake? Or do you not really care? Anyway, if you like my content, why not like, comment and subscribe? What was the best thing about these stories, my friends? What was the best thing? Anyway, here are some other videos you may enjoy. Thank you very much, everybody. Until next time, I shall scare you later.